For most people, getting a little bit of hot water is as simple as turning on the faucet. But when you grow up working in a janky shop in the middle of downtown Cleveland, getting a splash of hot water could actually kill you. I grew up working in a janky shop with my dad in the middle of downtown Cleveland. The building that we were in actually doubled as a self-storage facility, and we rented out part of the first floor. Now, I use the word rented lightly. Our section was actually walled off with scrap pieces of drywall, bent metal, and whatever else we could find to make a barrier. And if you think I'm exaggerating, every time you'd open and close the door to our section of the building, the whole entire wall would move with the door. So that should paint a pretty good picture for you guys. So needless to say, there was no insulation, no heat, and in the winter, everything froze, including the water we needed for bodywork.
Journey to a land of ice and snow, where magic and wonder await.
Now, I don't know if you've ever wet sanded a car in the middle of the frickin' Arctic, but I can tell you one thing I've learned from my experience. Warm water makes a huge difference. Now, we had a faucet, we had a sink. However, unfortunately, only ice cold water would come out. And on especially cold days, even the water in the buckets inside the shop would freeze to solid ice. So now you're probably wondering, how did we wet sand these cars then in the middle of the winter? Well, as they say, where there's a will, there's a way. And we had a system. It was a very sketchy, DIY, and very Soviet style system. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that OSHA would probably not approve of our water heating system. So let me explain to you guys how this system worked, okay? This system was absolutely ingenious, top-level engineering, all right? So you guys take notes. It was basically just two pieces of steel, and these two pieces were separated by little blocks of wood. You would hack off a power cord off of probably like an old drill or something that just didn't work anymore. And then you'd have the two wires. So two wires, two plates, what do? Well, we put them together, right? Only thing that makes sense. It did have one flaw, however. That is that it was absolutely freaking terrifying. So the way you'd get warm water is actually really freaking simple, right? You'd make your way through the entire shop, you'd weave through the piles of parts saved for later, and then you'd make it to that door, the one that moves with that whole entire wall. Well, you'd go through that door, and then what you would do is you'd make your way through the dark building into the dark bathroom, and you would fill your bucket with ice cold water, and then you'd find your way back. So out the dark bathroom, through the dark building, through that door that moves with the whole wall, and now once you're back in the shop with your ice cold water, this is where the danger comes up, right? This is where you gotta actually heat this water up now. So then what you did was you'd pop that device, AKA the two pieces of metal with a power cord attached to it. You'd pop that into the water, and then you take the other end of the wire and you'd plug it into an outlet, and you'd hope that you don't die. In about 15 to 20 minutes, you'd have a warm, steamy bucket of water. So what's the sketchiest thing you ever did to get the job done? Drop it in the comments below. I know I'm not alone. And if you like this story, then subscribe. There's plenty more where that came from. I'll see you in the next one.